All right, continuing on with this problem. Now it's starting to talk about when the particle is moving left, moving right, when is the acceleration positive, when is the velocity positive, and when is the speed increasing. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a handy little table down here at the bottom that will help us compartmentalize all of that information. So, and we're going to talk about this. We're going to use this type of table, and we're going to expand on this type of table as we go through calculus. But it's super handy. You're going to use it a lot, and basically it doesn't prove anything, but it is a very, very useful tool. So I've got my time, my velocity, my acceleration, and then I'm going to put my critical values here. And I've got 1/2. I have another critical value that I don't know about yet. I will get to that in just a minute. And I'm going to do 4 because those are my critical values for my velocity, 1/2 and 4, and then I'm going to put my end time on there. And then let's see, we're going to go ahead and fill in velocity. So my velocity was positive, and then these were my critical values for velocity. So I'm going to put the 0 and 0, and then at 6 my velocity was back to positive, and I knew that in between those values I was negative, because if you remember from the previous page, at 1 we checked and it was negative, and you can't have changed signs at any other point because you didn't give yourself an opportunity to change signs there. So we're going to use interval notation. It's asking when is the particle moving left. Well, it's moving left when velocity is negative. So that happened on interval notation. That happened from 1/2 to 4, and it's where v of t is negative. Okay, when is it moving right? Well, it's when v of t is positive. So that happened from 0 to 1/2, and then again from 4 to 6. Okay, when is the acceleration positive? Well, we have to go back to our acceleration equation. Acceleration equation was 8t minus 18. We need to find the critical value for acceleration. So I'm going to set that equal to 0 because you have to pass through 0 to be able to change from positive to negative. So that happened at a time of 9/4. So I'm going to put that down on this table as one of our critical values, and 9/4 is between 1/2 and 4. So I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put down that that's my 0 for my acceleration, because that's what we just found. And when I put in, if I take a 0 in here, I get a negative acceleration. And if I put in, let's say, 3, I'm going to get a positive. So when is your acceleration positive? Well, your acceleration is positive from 9/4 to 6. When is the velocity positive? Well, that's going to be when you were moving to the right, which we answered already. It's just a question worded differently, but it's asking the same question. So that was from 0 to 1/2 and 4 to 6. Okay, this next one is really tricky. It comes up a lot. Speed is increasing. It's where acceleration and velocity are the same sign. And that's going to keep coming up throughout the rest of this class. It's pretty big, and it's one of those things that we just expect you to remember from here on out. So it's when acceleration and velocity are the same sign. So that happened from 1/2 to 9/4, because that was where they were both negative. And that's the other thing that people get hung up on. They keep thinking that they both have to be positive, and they don't. They both have to be the same sign. And then it happened again from 4 to 6.